All right, good morning, traders. Today is Wednesday, July 14th. My name is Charles, and this is the Pirate Traders live stream. Okay, so yesterday in the market, we had a balancing day with a very large range, but it was just a balancing day. Value was overlapping to lower, but only slightly lower on terms of the high. And the market rotated higher to new all-time highs, pulled back, but didn't even repair the poor low left behind from the previous day. So that's sort of bullish in a when what should happens manner. It should have pulled down further, and it did not. Okay, so the overnight market just sort of rotated around at the lower end, and then right here at the end of the night, they've pushed back up to the top of the range. So I would expect that we're going to have somewhat of a counter auction to the downside here at the very end of the overnight, or at the open of our regular trading hours. We should have a little bit of a counter auction to the downside. We are opening inside of yesterday's range, which increases the odds of the market chopping this morning. Although it's worth noting we are above value, so that's a little bit bullish. Okay. As far as what to look for today, if the market opens right here at this level, again, as always, we're looking for support on the way down. So what would look like support? Well, this node of volume here lines up perfectly with yesterday, and this one here lines up pretty well with yesterday as well. So you're talking this node of volume, and then this one here. So the market as it trades down should find support in one of these. Okay? If it doesn't, you could get it at the low of yesterday with this node of volume from the overnight. If the market pushes its way down to any of these levels and it finds support, to me that is a good long trade for continuation to the upside because of the momentum in the market. Okay? Balance leads to excess. Yesterday we had a balancing day, so maybe the market needs to balance again today. Maybe we didn't get enough yesterday, or we need to push higher. The idea is if we needed to pull back, we had our chance. Okay. To the upside, as always, with a breakout, I'm looking for the market to get above yesterday's high, pull back down and find support there, and then I'll be looking to go long into that trade. Okay. And the market is open. Okay, as far as getting below yesterday's low, there's lots of potential support down there as well. So if we were to get below yesterday's low, to me that would be a good short from yesterday's low to the poor low from Monday. Okay, but the repair of that poor low could bring in the buyers. You could find support there. If not, down here on the repair of the weak H and G lows with that D period single prints left behind from the 9th, that could also act as good support, as it did here in the overnight. All right, so once again, we're expecting some chop here in the morning, a little grind up and down. I would also expect a small counter auction to the downside because of this push higher at the end of the overnight. So if we don't get either of those, that's a when what should happen doesn't. So if the market just starts trading straight up and doesn't have any chop, that's a sign of strength. If the market doesn't need to pull back at all, even though the overnight inventory is net long, that is also bullish. Okay. Market internals opening bullish. Good morning, RK Leon. Welcome to you. Nor Auto Trading in the house. Good to see you. JL99, welcome. Hi is back with us. Good morning to you. Brian is here. London gets the fills yet again. Philip, good morning to you. Nirmal is here. Good to see you. Nirmal, so the value area for yesterday was overlapping to bearish. Okay, so that means neutral to bearish. So the signal that it was trying to send us yesterday was either, with value, is either that the market needs to balance, it needs to go up and down some more, or it needs to pull back. Yet, it didn't really pull back even to a poor low. So this is where nuances and other pieces of information become valuable. We can't only look at value. That's not a good signal. Value is the most potent and the strongest of all the signals. But all it's telling us here is that the market either needs to go sideways or down. And so then we look for other signals to tell us, well, how far down does it need to go? How long does it need to go sideways? Things like this. So we'll know it doesn't need to keep going sideways if it can get above yesterday's high, pull back down and find support here this morning. Then we know it doesn't need to go sideways anymore. And if it tries to pull back down to repair a poor low down here yesterday, and it fails to do that, that is the sign to us that it doesn't need to pull back anymore. Okay? So I'm coming into this morning not necessarily bullish. I'm coming into this morning open to the probability that the market either needs to go sideways or up. And I have my signals for knowing which it's going to do. Like I said, to go up, it's got to get above yesterday's high, come back down and find support, bring in some volume up here. That's how I know. That's my signal that it's ready to go higher. My signal that it's ready to go sideways would be if it pulls back down and then it finds support, as I mentioned first thing this morning, in any of these nodes, right? Wherever it finds its support, that's where I know it's ready to start going rotational, right? Or at the very least, from that point, go up. And then we monitor for continuation to the upside. Does that make sense? So value is just one thing to look at. It's very powerful. It's very important. But then you take that information and you start comparing it to other references. Okay? So we got good excess on the high. So now that we've gotten above yesterday's high, we're looking for the market to push up and then pull back down into this level. And when it does, it can't get any lower, right? That's what support would look like. Sorry, my thing's all over the place this morning. So it'd be it pushes higher, comes back down, and then it can't get lower, right? That is the buy signal. Nick, good morning to you. Algo Lover, welcome. Jitten, good morning to you. Pavel, good to see you. Ashik back with us. Good to see you. Good morning. Jose is here. And John, good morning to you. Welcome, guys. Please smash that like button. Smash the like. Spread the love. Make your life better. Yeah. Okay, so the internals remain bullish, but it's worth mentioning we don't have very good taper at the low here. You got 192 contracts, then 290, then 380, then 61. So that's not good taper. Increasing the odds the market needs to push back down here once more. Remember, you got lots of support in all these nodes of volume beneath us. Okay? Good morning, Rad. Good morning, Aaron and Normal. Yes, 438075 is where the POC currently is, but you're right. It's just one letter. Nothing to look at yet. Remember, there's two ways to use the POC. On a rotational day, you use it as targets for the market to pull back to it. And on a trending day, you use it as a signal that the market is trending because it pushes higher. Both of those things require you have at least 2 or 3 time periods to make judgments. So yeah, not much to look at just yet. Jitten must be long the market. He says, I'd prefer it just go up. Wouldn't that be nice? If just every day the market just went up. What a joy being a trader would be. Arthur, good morning. Good to see you. It does. I know. I know, Jitten. That's the worst part. All these V-shaped recoveries are training an entire generation of investors to think that the market can only go up. Uh, Philip's question: do single prints still valid the next day? Um, if they're in the regular trading hours, absolutely. If you're asking about these single prints left behind from the overnight, uh, those don't stand out as anything particular to me. Also, I mean, it's worth noting, right? It's like when you first start to push into them, you've got a node of volume right below there that could act as support. And even if you were to backfill them, you're just getting to the next node of volume. That would be support. So those didn't really catch my eye. I'm more focused on the volume from the regular trading hours. Brian. Somebody should create a bot that just does that, that every morning at 4 a.m. just goes long the market and then sees what happens after a week. NQ from yesterday's H period. That's a very, very vague statement. What am I to do with that? Let's go look at the NQ yesterday and see what happened during the H period. So obviously you'd be talking about the overnight. Single prints. Oh, you were talking about probably what's the J period for me up here. Um, yeah, those backfilled, but I don't know. Like I said, I don't know that it's because of the single prints in the overnight. I think it's more just because the market's looking for support, and it's really yesterday's volume is very thin here. You know. So next major support on base of single prints. What is this? Don't know why that's there. Um, yeah, so your next major support on the NQ is going to be either halfback from yesterday, which is right at 14,914, or down here in this node of volume that's just below the POC around 14,878. Okay. And that should act as good support because the overnight last night spent so much time trading around that level and put in so much volume that should act as support on a pullback. Okay. NQ didn't quite get to new all-time highs, but came close. Back to the ES, the S. Okay, so this node of volume that we built here is acting as resistance at this point. We keep trying to push up into it and we can't get through it. Okay? So if we are able to push up through it, it should act as support on a pullback. But keep in mind, we've got that bad taper at the low here. So I do think the market might need one more push lower just to get some two-sided trade. The knob is back at work. That's all right, brother. At least you got the community again. You know, can go have some conversation around the coffee pot this morning. That's fun. Okay, so once again, guys, as the market pushes lower, any of these big nodes of volume that you see here could act as support. Okay. Okay, so I'm not saying this is the low here, but that is good taper on the low. And the fact that they didn't even have to push into these nodes of volume at all is a little bit bullish there. So I think the market's on its way up to take another punch at this resistance above. If not, they'll need to pull down further into these nodes, but I do suspect we find support. There are clearly buyers ready to step in. Good morning, Mizu. Good to see you. Welcome. Mizu's question is, Charles, are ticks behaving as you'd expect at this point in the morning? Well, to be fair, I don't really expect the ticks to do anything. I kind of just watch what they're doing. Trying to tell the market what to do never works out for me. But yeah, it makes sense. We had that major push right at the end of the overnight there. And so that caused all the internals to open really bullish. And they need a good half an hour or so generally to kind of pull back into range before they give us better signals. So we've given them that half an hour, and now they're showing that they're above the zero line, all four of them, but that they could potentially trend lower. Okay? So there's just still some uncertainty at these levels. As you guys know, my system for trading requires that I stay flat until I have a good idea, at least 60% certainty, that I know what the market is doing. Right now, I know all the options of what the market could do today, but it has not chosen yet. Is it going to break out and trend higher? It still could. Is it going to pull back in, find support, and go rotational? It could. Is it going to pull back, fail to find support, and then have a sell-off today? That could also happen. So I'm waiting to see what the market wants to do. Phoenix, good morning, brother. Welcome. We've just been sitting here enjoying some morning chop together. Yep, 76.50. Literally right where we are now. Okay, so at this point, it is safe to say that the internals are starting to trend lower here. The breadth on the NYSE pushing its way below the zero line as it continues to trend lower. And the advancers versus decliners are also trending lower towards that zero line. So what seems to be happening is this node of volume here is acting as resistance. Okay, so that's twice today. The market pushed up, tried to build support, failed, pushed through it. Then when it went back up to push through that potential support that failed again, that potential support became resistance. Okay, which pushed us lower. We found support, pushed back up again, couldn't get back through. So then we sold off down here into this node of volume, and now the resistance is happening once again. So we are witnessing the sellers starting to pile on here. Algo lover buyers need to defend above 73 to keep the party going this AM. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing that stands out to me about that particular level, but I do think if we start to pull down into these nodes of volume and we find support there, we're likely to just go rotational. Phoenix, thanks. I've been using Shadow Trader's levels from his site, but they don't line up. The one you have here is also what the market profile site you posted in Discord is showing. Yeah, I'm not sure what Peter has his settings at. But remember, if the only one I would know that would be different would just be the TPO. I'm sorry, the POC, because he uses the volume POC and I use the time POC. But the rest should all line up. Mizu, yeah, no, the A period, that's just good excess, right? You have to get 2 ticks above a previous high to have good excess. So that's, it's not bullish, it's not bearish, it's not anything. It's just a sign the market doesn't need to go any higher. It got high enough for good two-sided trade to take place. It also made some beautiful taper up there. So that could be the high of the day. Not to say it will be, but it could. But yeah, no, a spike is only if you get a push higher at the very end of the day. All this was just price exploration. See if the market wanted to go higher, and the market was like, nope, we're good. Let's go back down. Dave, double TOP on SPY, 30-minute chart. I'm not sure what you're asking. What you're looking at here is the ES, the futures. And yeah, there are two profiles side by side here. It's kind of hard to differentiate them right now because we're only in the B period. But one of them is collapsed, so you can see the shape of the profile like you can over here. And then the other one is expanded out so I can see each 30-minute time period on its own. Oh, it's a double top pattern. Oh, okay. There you go. Double top on the 30-minute. Mizu, I don't actually know specifically what link he's talking about. It's either there's a link that Trading Donkey posted to somebody on Reddit who put some levels, and then there's also a link in the trading bookmarks that I have that shows the pivots using market profile numbers every day. So it's one of those two. There you go. Yeah, he's talking about the one on the in the trading bookmarks tab. 93 people watching, 27 likes. Smash that like button if you want the market to trade down to these lower nodes of volume and find support down there. Smash that like button. It'll make it happen for you, I promise. Oh man, lots of bears in the chat today. I'm just kidding. I set you guys up. Thank you for those likes. Okay, so the buyers are starting to step in here. We're able to push ourselves back above that zero line. Support is being found slowly but surely. Good morning, Knife. Good to see you. NQ close to highs. Let's go take a look. Oh boy. Yeah, the NQ is looking strong. Value is completely higher than yesterday. Your one-time framing higher. And you're bringing in volume here for a potential breakout. So look for the market to get back above yesterday's high and then start to bring in volume up here in these levels. Dave Sapp donated $5. Thank you, brother. Thank you so much for the heads up, Dave. Potential head and shoulders forming. Something to be aware of. We'll catch you later, Algo. Naya, 1,500 today? I didn't even realize. Yeah, look at that. That nice round number. You know how markets like those nice round numbers. So that seems very doable. All right, back to the ES. Still getting resistance in that node. Can they push through? Can they break on through to the other side? Yes, sir, Ronald. I assume when you talk about popping, you're talking about that tick pop. So now we know there isn't a downtrend in the ticks, as we were worried there could be a downtrend forming. There is not. And we're back above that zero line. So the buyers are trying to break through this resistance. They want to get to the other side and make another attempt at that high. I'm not aware of any Fed anything today. Anybody else in the chat know of any announcements? Oh, Jerome is talking it too. Today and tomorrow. Oh, boy. That poor guy better watch what he says. He better be real careful about how he describes bringing up interest rates, potentially maybe in the future. Ah, Jitten. So that makes sense. That's why you got that spike higher at the end of the overnight. It was because his minutes were released early. That makes sense. Yeah, Amal. That's what they're saying. He testifies this afternoon, but that he already released what he's going to say. And if the market read that and pushed higher, one should assume whatever he said is bullish or not bearish, I guess. So if the market can't get up above this node of volume right here that's acting as resistance, it might need to trade back down lower to bring in more buyers. So again, the support will be down here. But we have to first wait and see if they can't break through this to the upside. Captain Axelrod in the house. What's up, dude? Good to see you. HUA or HU Austin. Great question. What's a good starting point for market profile education? I always suggest people start with Jim Dalton's books. One is called Mind Over Markets, and the other is called Markets in Profile. If you like to read and you like economics, I recommend reading both. But if you hate reading, I would say just read the second one, Markets in Profile. that is that's got everything you need in terms of understanding. It's not just the market profile software that Jim Dalton teaches. It's the two-way auction process, right? It's understanding how markets work. We just use this software as a way to read what's happening and to make guesses and to make insights on what the market is doing. But really, it's about learning how the market auction process works and how markets function, really. Great question, Donkey. Any audio books? Well, I guess that the equivalent of that would be go find Jim Dalton's old seminars on YouTube that are like 4 hours long and just watch those instead. But yeah, anything from Jim Dalton or Shadow Trader, which is another YouTube channel. Lots of great stuff there. Oh, zing! RK Leon coming in hot this morning. Oh, I didn't think it was salty. I loved it. Give Donkey a little bit of his own sarcastic medicine. Punch. Yeah, Jitten, you just got to start a new YouTube account under a different name, and then you can come say stupid stuff, and nobody knows you. All right, so that resistance held up here, right? We tried so hard to push through that, couldn't get through it. So we're likely to need to pull back down a little bit further to bring in more buyers for the next attempt. So I'll be looking for support in these nodes. The first being around 71 and the second being around 67, 68. Okay. Um, Naif, I'm sorry if I haven't been singing enough for you, brother. I'll try to get back into it. Haven't been in a singing mood lately. Um, but I appreciate hearing that. Arthur, yeah, if you use the donation that's in the description below, that's through PayPal. If you use the one that's in the like comments, that's through YouTube. All right, guys. Well, with that, I shall bid you farewell. As far as the markets this morning, what are we looking at here? Well, value is still overlapping to higher, which is bullish to neutral. Okay. But the market is one time framing lower. We also just created a poor low, which increases the odds the market will need to repair that, pushing at least 2 ticks lower. And the one time framing is a bearish signal. So you want to look for good support. If you don't find it here in this node from yesterday where the POC is, I think that could be shortable for a push down towards this node from the overnight. So essentially what I'm saying is I think the market finds support here or here. If it fails to find support at these two levels, you'll need to trade down into this. If this can't hold, you'll need to repair the poor low from Monday. If that gets repaired and it doesn't find support, you'll have to just keep going lower and lower and lower, looking for support. So in my mind, if this node right around, or the bottom of it being around 43.66, if that can't hold, look to go short and monitor for continuation to the downside. Okay? Good luck. Happy trading. For those of you that are in the Brigade, I shall see you in the private room in 5 minutes. Thanks a lot, guys. Bye-bye.